Hi, and welcome back to another episode of The Lab by Sensorpedia. In this episode, we answer some of the most basic and yet most important questions about Sensorpedia, such as how is Sensorpedia innovative? And to start things off, how about a basic explanation of what Sensorpedia is? For that, let's hear from the lead developer of Sensorpedia, David Resseguie.
What is Sensorpedia? Well, Sensorpedia is really a platform or an application for discovering and sharing sensor information online. It has many of the same principles as other information sharing websites such as Wikipedia, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, but instead of networking users based on mutual personal interest, it networks users based on mutual information sharing interest. Now there are two main components of Sensorpedia. There's the web application itself and the underlying web services. The web application provides the basic ability to explore information within the Sensorpedia framework. You can search for sensor data and view information from multiple sources side by side on a map. The Sensorpedia services provide an application programming interface or an API for publishing sensor data and accessing sensor information from external applications. These two components combined make a very powerful and flexible platform for sharing sensor data online.
So what is innovative about Sensorpedia? I think what is innovative is bringing social networking aspects to a domain that has traditionally been more data and factual based, this domain being sensor data sharing. Many other domains are just naturally thought of as a social activity. Say you want to buy something. It's caveat emptor, let the buyer beware, right? So sites like Amazon have thrived by incorporating a robust product review mechanism. If you want to find and connect with old college buddies, what do? You spend about 5 seconds on Facebook and you've got about 200 of them at your fingertips. What if you just completed a video and want to share it with friends? Put it on YouTube, of course. So the innovation comes from adapting compelling aspects of those naturally social activities and domains to this area of sensor information. And going forward, I believe that users will find it important to have those aspects incorporated into this concept of the Internet of Things.
Many see the Internet of Things, where smart objects are interconnected via the network, as the next evolution of the web. So how do we take advantage of this massive amount of information flow coming in as everyday objects become sensors and reporting observations about the world around them? Well, so we've identified several key principles from social media that we think can be applied to sensor information sharing to turn that massive amount of information into usable knowledge. These are principles like the use of a URL to reference an online data source. So if you want to share a YouTube video, for example, you would just copy the URL and you might send it to someone to watch. Well, we think you should have a URL that references a specific sensor or sensor observation in the same manner. It's the use of standards like RSS and Atom to subscribe to updates from a sensor in exactly the same way that you would subscribe to updates from your favorite blog, and to accept user-defined tags to classify data from the bottom up. When you apply these types of principles, you end up with a very flexible, loosely coupled architecture that's better able to handle the unknowns of this global sensor web.
Having a system be loosely coupled makes it very easy to adapt to and work with and extend that system. And because of that extensibility, because of Sensorpedia's loosely coupledness, none of the features or power behind existing sensor systems need be lost. If I'm a sensor manufacturer, for example, I can keep my optimized, my high-powered formats and tools intact while integrating with Sensorpedia as much or as little as I want, all without undermining or replacing the work that I've already done. If I'm developing applications that use sensors, if I'm writing a widget or an iPhone app or a web app, I can leverage my existing technology and existing devices without having to build out the database and relational infrastructure behind it. Sensorpedia is just there, providing out of the box all of the wiring I need to connect together the pieces of whatever my grand sensor application might be.
For example, we were able to create a demonstration application for the Great Lakes. In doing this, we pulled existing data from sensors such as webcams, ship tracking, and a variety of geospatial data, and we registered them with Sensorpedia. Now, this worked great because we were not required to change how the sensors report their information and still use the Sensorpedia services to combine the information in a meaningful way.
So some users may use the Sensorpedia web application to simply find and discover sensor data and do some basic visualization tasks. But really, I think the real value comes when users begin to use the API to access those services and pull that data into their own applications to solve a domain-specific problem. In a sense, Sensorpedia becomes an enabling platform for the Internet of Things.
Well, that's about it for this episode. However, we'd love to hear from you on these topics. Join in the discussion on our blog at sensorpedia.com or follow us on Twitter or Facebook. For all of us at Sensorpedia, I'm Jason Frank. Thanks for watching.